Juice says don't cook Burns, man. My heart can't take it. I should spare him? I should spare the homie or what? Damn. I was prepared to come on here and kind of cook Burns low key. Gabe Blackman, what are your thoughts on the YouTuber Perry Punch? I am him. That would be me. What are my thoughts on myself? Shit. Great guy, never met him. That would be my thoughts on myself. Great guy, never met him. Yeah, don't cook Burns. Oh wait, you are Perry Punch. Yeah, that's me. That's me. You in here, homie. I hear he's a good guy. Are you gonna burn Burns? Well, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not really planning on like disrespectfully cooking Burns. Maybe we should just get this out the way now. But I mean, you guys know I always have some things to say. One second, one second. Yeah, you don't need to cook him. His last name is already Burns. I know. I know. Uh What's the thumbnail? Oh, he is done. It was supposed to be R.I.P. Burns with all the troll in the name Burns. Shout out to Nate Diaz when Nate Diaz said, "You lost to a guy named fucking Burns." Burns. I was about to say R.I.P. Burns in the thumbnail, but I just put it to he is done because he is done. He been done, and he for sure done now. But for those of you who didn't see the UFC Winnipeg, neither did I. Welcome to the club. I did listen to it though. I did see the knockout, but I mean, bro, like what the fuck I'm gonna sit there and watch Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns for? Like that's my main criticism. I'll just say it like that. Like if you guys really thought that I sat there for all of 15 minutes and watched Mike Malott versus Gilbert Burns to find out that result, I mean, I already knew the result ahead of time. The only question is Mike gonna knock him out? Is he gonna, decision him? Everyone's saying, well, Mike Malott lost to Neil Magny, so I mean, Gilbert Burns gonna submit him. Whatever, man. Couldn't be bothered to really watch it. It's no disrespect to Mike Malott. It's more disrespect to Burns. All right, there it goes. A little bit of a burn on Burns. But like, Gilbert, he been done for a long time. I've been saying that like everybody gets these title shots off of beating Gilbert. Let's look at his resume, right? Bilal, pretty sure Bilal got a title shot off beating Gilbert. JDM definitely did. Sean Brady definitely, got that number one contender spot because after Sean Brady beat Gilbert in 2024, which I think that Gilbert was done after this in 2024. Gilbert's last best fight was against JDM. He was beating him through two. In the third round, he gets stopped. That was his last good fight. That's the last time he really showed something in there. Sean Brady walked through him. Michael Morales walked through him even quicker. And then Mike Malott just walked through him in 3 rounds. So, I mean, I've been saying Gilbert kind of been washed since the Sean Brady fight. The Sean Brady fight didn't mean nothing, But what does Sean Brady get? I mean, I don't even need to look at it. He got Leon Edwards, the number one contender, right after that. What did JDM get? I just told you. He's the one who ended up fighting Bilal when Shavkat got injured. Coming off of like, a 12 plus month layoff due to injury. Keep him. Okay, no. Yeah, Bilal. Gilbert was in March 2024. He fought Bilal in May 2025. So we're talking 14 months out, right? JDM gets a title shot. 14 months off of beating Burns. Title shot. Steps right into it. 14 months later. Now, I'm just kind of building up the case, but Michael Morales, obviously, who did he get? He got Sean Brady after beating Gilbert. So everybody gets big opportunities off beating Gilbert, but now that Mike Malott does it, no one going to give him the opportunity. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I get it. And I've been saying this about like everybody else. Like, just because you beat Gilbert Burns doesn't really mean shit. But I guess it took, until Mike Malott beat him for people to come to that opinion. Because when Michael Morales did it, oh, Michael Morales so good. When Sean Brady did it, oh, Sean Brady's so good. It's like, what the fuck? But yeah. So I say all that to say, yeah, Mike Malott, he stopped Gilbert Burns in the third. Gilbert Burns was ranked. No? Was Gilbert Burns ranked? Let's see. If we're talking about welterweight, Gilbert Burns is ranked number 11. I just want to know, do you think there's 11? Like, do you think Gilbert's the number? Let's just go 15. Fuck the rankings, right? I know I see Colby here down at 15. But it's like, bro, just a year ago, welterweight was on fire. This weight class was budding for guys to get in there. Super difficult. Now we got Gilbert Burns ranked at number 11. We got Colby Covington at 15. We even got Euros Medic up in there. I mean, I guess it's fine. I won't hate on Medic too much. But Gilbert and Colby in these rankings, there aren't any other people. I'm having a hard time saying this, but it's like, bro, 15 people in the world at welterweight. These are the 15. There's not two other guys on the roster at 170 pounds that are better than Gilbert and Colby. Before this fight even took place. I'm talking before this fight even took place. Right? You mean to tell me that there's people in the UFC? I mean, Mike Malott's one of them. But you see my point. Like, these rankings are all fucked up. Like, I don't know what's going on. In what world Gilbert Burns is the 11th best welterweight in the world? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Do you guys think that Gilbert Burns is the 11th best welterweight in the world? Because I don't. I don't even think he's probably like the 30th best. Honestly, at this stage in the game. I'll be nice and be like, I don't know if he's like the 20th best. Maybe when you start going above 20, he could get a win. But like, Gilbert Burns, Colby Covington, these are not the top 15, best welterweights in the world. And Colby, it's a broken record. I could care less about that one. Gilbert Burns, who fought tonight, that's the one I'm on. Why do I say this? Because, where do we put Mike Malott now? Is Mike Malott now the 11th best welterweight in the world? I don't know about that. Honestly. I mean, I bet you D-Rod would have something to say about that. Not to say that D-Rod's better than Mike Malott, but D-Rod sees Mike Malott up in there at rank number 11 off of beating Gilbert Burns. And it's like, what about Kevin Holland? Kevin Holland not even in the 170-pound rankings. Kevin Holland doesn't beat Gilbert Burns. I know homie gets graped every time they throw him up against a wrestler, right? But Kevin Holland definitely walking through Gilbert Burns. D-Rod beat Kevin Holland, yet Gilbert Burns ranked above D-Rod, and Mike Malott might slide into that number 11 ranking, come Monday evening. Very odd. Very odd. D-Rod is fighting Leon. If he wins, he gets ranked. D-Rod is ranked. Lou AI 10. He's number 14. You're right, though. He is fighting Leon. He accepted the bout. So that's number 8. So he'll be fine with that. Yeah, D-Rod's 14. And I'm sure, he's not going to be too bitter, but you guys get my point, right? You get the point. MVP versus Mike Malott. Mike Malott's a striker. MVP's a striker. Let's book them. I bet you MVP is going to have something to say about Mike Malott being the 11th best welterweight in the world. It's not to diss Mike Malott. It's just to say that Gilbert is not the 11th best welterweight in the world. Kevin Holland, and I know Mike Malott beat him. So there we go. Mike Malott also beat Kevin Holland, yet Mike's not even ranked. Mike should have probably been in. Let's put it like this. Mike should have probably been in the rankings by now, and he probably should have fought somebody else in the rankings to actually, clarify a win. But like, I'm not going to let a number fool me necessarily. Like, just because it says Gilbert's number 11, I've been trying to tell you guys for the last like 10 minutes or so that I don't really think Mike Malott proved anything necessarily with this win over Gilbert. He probably already just deserved to be up in there in the first place, and he probably should have been given a little bit of a tougher matchup just so that he can actually prove something. But whatever, I guess it's the game. I guess it's the game. You looked great at CinemaCon. I didn't go to CinemaCon. MVP cooks him a lot. They not doing that. They tired of MVP cooking people when he's damn near 40 and they can't build off that. Eurosmedic versus Malott is probably next. No, I agree with that whole thing with MVP killing off prospects, but it's like, should they just cut him then? What do you do with a guy like MVP then? You know? That is what MVP's been doing. So for Mike Malott, if we want to go who next for Mike Malott at 170, Eurosmedic. Yeah, why not? Bonfim booked up, right? Bonfim booked up against Prates, if I'm not mistaken. You know, you got Usman up in there. Usman not even going to share his name with him a lot. Not even going to tie his name to it. Bilal. So it's just weird. Welterweight, I'm seeing a big gap between, you know, essentially number 10 and below, and then 1 and 8, or 1 through 9 is a world of difference. 10 and below compared to 1 through 9 is a world of difference. And as we're seeing, you know, it's these new guys coming up and they just have no names. And it's unfortunate, but, you know, there's nobody to blame but the UFC, bro. I mean, you could blame these fighters a little bit. But, you know, that's a problem. It's like Gilbert Burns, he got a name, right? But he fucking sucks. And then he gets beat by a guy like Mike Malott, who doesn't really have a name, but he's the surging guy. But then you stick him up in there in these rankings, replace him with the Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman's going to be like, who? Right? Usman's only ranked number 7. It's not unrealistic to be like, oh, yeah, Mike Malott versus the number 7, 11 versus 7, not too far off. We're putting number 14 versus number 8, right? That's a bigger gap. D-Rod versus Leon. But you know why you could do that? Because D-Rod got a name. Leon got a name. Mike Malott don't really got a name. Kamaru Usman's going to ghost him. It's a problem he runs into. I was surprised that Bonfim versus Prates was decent because Prates just arrived. So he can't be big time in no one yet. But that's the problem. And if Mike Malott can't beat an MVP, then shit, man. Shit, man. I'm not here to save him. You know, to go back to Juice's point, being like UFC's not going to give him MVP. MVP's going to knock off the prospect. Well, shit, bro. Then you ain't no prospect if you can't beat MVP. Come on now. See, I've actually identified that. You know, I used to have that same type of little like tick or something like that when it came to the UFC, and then guys that I like. You know, that's what I did with Paddy Pimblett, telling you guys, oh, yeah, he should fight, you know, Justin Gaethje, it's fine. Or he should fight Ilya before he fights Arman. You know, I like Paddy. I want to see the fight. Fuck all that. All that shit's soft, bro. If you can't beat the guy next in line, you don't deserve it. You not that guy, pal. You not him. So, you know, give Mike Malott to MVP. Right? Give him to MVP. That's what I would like to see. Mike Malott versus MVP. No more games, you know. You can't beat MVP. Well, then my point stands. You know, this whole Gilbert Burns thing was ridiculous. And Gilbert should have never been ranked. Mike should have been fed somebody more tough to get into the rankings. You know, in an MVP. It should have been Mike versus MVP to begin with. Because I do believe, you know, their MVP is about the 12th best welterweight in the world. I do believe that. Gilbert Burns, he's done. You know, he is done. That's the thumbnail. Gilbert Burns is done. So we don't need to go too in on Gilbert, but he ends his career on a 5-fight losing streak. Last good win was Jorge Masvidal. So yeah. Last thing I'll say is, how good was Gilbert, really? Because, you know, Gilbert was in that title fight with Kamaru Usman during COVID. got stopped right in like the second round. But you see how Burns' career's ending, and then you compare it to a guy like Usman. I know Usman's super inactive, but just interesting to kind of like map out a little bit that little dynamic. Charles Jourdain versus Kyler Phillips. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. You know, Charles Jourdain came. He showed out. He delivered. Charles Jourdain came. No diddy. But Kyler Phillips. I don't want to be too critical. Homie lost, and it was fight of the night. But I mean, Jourdain deserves the whole bonus because Kyler Phillips. I mean, the guy just has a really bad style. Does he not? It's just all takedowns. It's all like, zero ground and pound. Um, I'm not too big of a fan of Kyler Phillips. I'm glad Charles Jourdain got the win. Kyler Phillips getting a fight of the night bonus though was a bit charitable, but I get it because Jourdain delivered. Jourdain's the hometown guy. So you're gonna go fight of the night for Jourdain. Kyler Phillips, getting that little charitable because that's 100K for the both of them. Fight of the night is 100K, or no, performance of the night is 100K, and that's who got it. Mike Malott. Fight of the night is 25K to each, and those are the bonus winners. Rankings don't matter for matchmakers, so yeah, it kind of does and it doesn't. It just depends. Space, what's popping, homie? Who wins Morales versus MVP? Uh, Bro, that's actually a tough matchup. Bro, I honestly want to say MVP, Wick son. I want to say MVP. You'd see MVP fucking take Morales to school probably. They will probably give MVP to a wrestler. They want to get rid of him. Yeah, you can't give MVP to any strikers. You got to put him up against a dominant wrestler because he's gonna make Morales look real bad. Morales would wrestle fuck MVP. Does he really have that good of offensive takedowns though? Never really seen him do it. He usually drops his opponent, then he goes for the sub type of thing. Do we see Michael Morales just shooting in, NCAA style, getting these double legs on MVP? I personally don't. Otto, what's popping, homie? What up? Hope you're having a great weekend and night and morning to everyone else too. Shout out to the positive homie Otto. My man. Fight of the night is also 100K. Finish bonus is 25K. Oh, fight of the night is 100K each? It's my first time on this channel. Give me your top 5 goats. I want to see something. um Top 5 goats? Personally, bro, I'd probably go like John Jones and Anderson Silva up in there. Damn, we got Useless up in here. Shout out to Useless. What's popping, homie? I got John Jones and Anderson Silva up in there. Um, I'm gonna throw Demetrius Johnson in there. I kind of want to throw like people not gonna like it, but he's the first 2 division champion in history. I might throw a BJ Penn in there. BJ Penn also the youngest UFC champion during his time. Yeah, I might throw BJ Penn in there. So what we got? John Jones, Anderson Silva, BJ Penn. You got to throw McGregor in there, although it pains me. Just on the financials. Just on the financials. And Demetrius. Jones, GSP, and Islam. Oh yeah, homie says yeah. I don't think we get along. I mean, weird way to judge it, but Like if somebody has a different GOAT list than me, it doesn't mean I wouldn't get along with them. So I wouldn't co-sign that. But Jones, GSP, and Islam. Yeah. I mean, it's just Islam. Just what you're talking about? 45-pound Volk. You're talking about retired Poirier. You talking about Renato Moicano, Luai? To be honest, that does irk me that you put Islam up in there. So maybe we won't get along. You are not ranking resumes though, because losses matter as much as wins do. Well, how about the fact that he beat Volk twice, featherweight Volk twice, Renato Moicano, right, and then fucking Dustin Poirier in his retirement fight? What I mean, you're definitely not doing something there. You're telling me what I'm not doing. You're definitely not doing something with that fucking law of thinking as Islam being a GOAT. Yeah, Islam beat JDM, but it's JDM. It's JDM. We got two completely different scoring criterias. Two completely different. If you want to do this, then Silva opponents are all plumbers. Islam beat the featherweight GOAT twice. Charles, one of the best lightweights of all time. Silva did beat a lot of plumbers. He did beat a lot of plumbers. But he was the biggest star in the game, bro. I mean, you don't factor that in at all. That's like saying like Muhammad Ali wasn't a GOAT, you know? Like being a star, that does give you some GOAT factor. Being a big star, it gives you some GOAT factor. It erases some of those losses because the entertainment value you brought to the sport, you know. You say Volk 45 as if homie, you just chill the fuck out, homie. You being argumentative as hell. I'm just trying to have a little conversation. I asked you to rank resumes, not stars. No, you said rank the top 5 GOATs. I mean, I guess that's greatest fighters of all time. But yeah, man, that's what I got to say about that. Islam lost to Pantoja. America First hating on Buck. Shout out to America First. Okay, we can continue this conversation. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so just to address another point, it's like, yeah, maybe Anderson Silva did beat all plumbers, right? But so has Islam. I know Volk's not a plumber, but you get my point. But so has Islam, and Anderson got the second most title defense streak of all time. So I mean, virtually identical. Let's say they both have fought plumbers. One of them has like 2.5x times the amount of title defenses. Like Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva, Mighty Mouse, Habib. Okay, buyer seller. I don't like to throw Habib in there, but you might have to. I like mine though. Jones, Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson, BJ Penn, and Conor McGregor. If you go overall, bro, I think that's the top 5. Let's look up like a list, like the top 5 UFC fighters of all time. Wait, Lou, drop your top 5 real quick before we look into this. Drop your top 5. Title defenses for someone who got a title shot on his second UFC fight when the other had to fight 12 times to get it is not fair. Brother, like, what the fuck? You guys will argue about anything. So because Anderson Silva got a title fight in his second UFC fight, it's just null and void or something? Like, what? I don't even, what are you trying to say? Yeah, Anderson got a title fight in his second UFC fight. He got the second longest defense streak in history. Islam Makhachev got his title fight in his 12th UFC fight. He got you know, not even half of Anderson's title defenses yet. You know also what happened to Islam, Louis? He popped for steroids and he got knocked out. I'm just countering your arguments. What do you mean, bro? I mean, it's not really a counter to say that Anderson Silva got a title shot in his second fight and Islam got a title shot in his 12th fight. So technically, if Islam got a title shot in his second fight, he would have had as many title defenses as Anderson Silva. Because if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, pal. So we really don't need to hear all your ifs, you know, because that's really what you're trying to say. You are intelligent enough to not put that if in there, but I can read right through it. You know, that's basically what you're trying to say. If Islam Makhachev got a title fight in his second UFC bout, he would have had just as many title defenses as Anderson Silva. And I'm here to tell you that's not even true. That's not even true. Actually, I don't want to speak too soon. Let's see. When did Islam get knocked out? How many UFC fights did he get knocked out in? We might have just walked homie down completely in his second one. So he would have never even been champion. How about that, Lou AI? Islam Makhachev, if he would have got his title shot in his second UFC bout, just like Anderson Silva, guess what, homie? He would have never been the champion. Thank the good Lord. Thank the gods that, you know, Islam Makhachev did not get his title shot in his second UFC bout off of beating Leo fucking Kuntz. But aside from that point, you know, thank God he didn't get his title shot in his second UFC bout because he would have never been the champion if that was the case. And don't start playing with me now, homie, because you like to debate, and me too. So don't get scary now that I get spicy back. Because you be typing too quick. You too quick to type, homie. You don't even think before you start typing. You know? And I know I'm on to you already. Hang on, let me read your chats. Bro got sat down by Moicano. I don't even remember. That's how insignificant the fight is. Silva got KO'd multiple times. Silva popped for steroids as well, and so did Conor. So did Jones. That's fine. Not during his title reign, did he? And so did Conor, so did Jones. Conor not during his title reign. John Jones, a different discussion, but that doesn't matter because we're talking about Islam and Silva. Homie, your debates are they don't really work. Plus, when Islam popped, that substance wasn't forbidden back then. You can Google it. Okay. He still had to serve a suspension, did he not? If you're an active champion serving a steroid suspension, you don't think that's going to say anything? Lou AI, I feel like I'm effectively walking you down. So anything else you have to say? That's not the point, though. I'm trying to tell you title defenses don't mean anything because people need different amount of fights to get a title. No. That has nothing to do with it, brother. Please don't tell me you're this dumb. I'm going to walk you down for the last time, and then you can just sit down like a good little boy AI and start learning something from me. Okay, let me sit you down for one last time. You saying that's not the point. I'm trying to tell you title defenses don't mean anything because people need different amount of fights to get a title. Yeah, everybody needs different amount of fights to get a title. How the fuck does that have to do anything with how many times you defend your title after you get it? It has to do with what you do with the title after you get it. It doesn't have to do with how many fights you need to get the title. That's where you're mistaken, homie. That's where you're fucking mistaken. I mean, honestly, you cannot be that stupid. You're factoring in more so. AI, let me walk you down for the final time. You're factoring in more so the come up to getting the title than you actually factor in title defenses. That's what you're telling me. That's what you're literally telling me. But I don't even buy it. That's just your cope, you moving the goalpost, because I just walked you down earlier when you said something along the lines of, Islam, didn't get a title fight till his 12th, and Anderson got it in his second one. You were really trying to say that if Islam got a title shot in his second one, he would have had just as many title defenses as Anderson, or broke his streak. But instead, now you move the goalpost and you say, no, that's not what I meant. I meant to say you can't factor in title defense streaks because of how long it takes other fighters to get it compared to others. Nah, homie. It matters what you do after it. You could bitch and moan all you want that it took Bilal Muhammad years to get the title, blah, blah, blah. What did he do in his first title defense? He lost that shit. If was a fifth, homie, we'd all be fucking drunk. You keep operating on these ifs. You keep operating on these ifs, bro. If this happened, if that happened, so it's, in other words too, let me just explain it one more time in like a third way. It's never going to make sense. Your logic is never going to make sense. But if, right, they won the title sooner, then they would have had all those title defenses. Not true. Not true. So now taking steroids matters if it was during the reign or no. I don't know why you're getting aggressive. Volk alone is better than Silva. Wins combined convince me otherwise. Volk is kind of a goat. I might put Volk up in there. TBH, my thing with you isn't Islam not being top 5. It's more like having Silva in top 5 while having 11 losses. It's crazy. Okay. All right. Well, if you don't have Islam in the top 5, that makes it a little bit better. Anderson. I mean, I think it's kind of crazy that you factor in his losses over what he did. Like you're judging him based off of how far he fell, necessarily, AI. You're judging him based off how far he fell, not how much he rose. And I don't think that's a good way to judge people. I think you're doing that, right, because it helps your favor because you don't believe in Silva, which is fine. But you don't need to make these little arguments to make your point. Instead, you should probably just concede to the fact that Anderson Silva deserves respect because you're coming off a bit disrespectful. Anderson Silva has 11 losses. Okay. I mean, I can tell your age. Your age is showing. You're a young new fan, and it's okay. But you just don't know much about the sport. So let's go over it. Okay? Talking about 11 losses. Before he got into the UFC, okay, he had 3 losses already. So he already had 3 losses, or no, wait, 4. He signed to the UFC with 4 losses, okay? Signed to the UFC with 4 losses. After losing his belt, he proceeded to continue to lose. You're holding all that against him. You are completely ignoring his title reign. You feel me? Instead of saying it's impressive for a guy to make good in his second UFC fight and take it away from the champion. Rich Franklin was the champion at the time, and he was good at the time. It's not anybody's fault that the sport wasn't as evolved as it was now. You're also comparing, the sport 30 years in between and acting like there's no difference in that. Yeah, if you think Rich Franklin was a cab driver, right, which he kind of is to today's standard, back in the day, he wasn't, bro. That's disrespectful as fuck. Look at Rich Franklin's record. 22-1, taking on 18-4 Anderson Silva. I know you don't know this though. AI, I know you don't know this because I could just tell the way you speak. The way you type out those words, I could just tell, right? Anderson Silva, you called Rich Franklin a plumber, right? Okay. Okay. What you want me to say? Dan Henderson, you know, Rich Franklin. If you're gonna say that Volkanovski deserves respect off of, Islam beating Volk, then you should give respect to Dan Henderson. The Dan Henderson win, the Rich Franklin win. You should give respect to those. Goes up to light heavyweight and beats fucking Forrest Griffin, the champion at the time. Or no, the former champion at the time. Come from behind win over Chael Sonnen in the 5th round. I mean, bro. We on one a night demon time, yeah. I have watched every single Silva fight, so don't worry about my age. No, I am worried about it a little bit. You should show some respect to Silva, homie. You're down in him. And like I said, you're judging him based off of how far he fell. You're using his losses against him. I would not use those losses against him. What? Daniel Cormier, that's one of his 11 losses. Not considering the 4 before he even signed to the UFC. So 5 of his 11 losses are null and void, bro. Straight null and void. Yeah, he eventually lost his belt to Weidman. It just happens. I would null and void that one too. At least one of the Weidman losses, I would null and void it. Every champion eventually loses, bro. Yeah, he fought till the streak ended. I would null and void at least 6 of these losses. Uriah Hall don't count. Jared Cannonier, Israel Adesanya. Are you kidding me? Michael Bisping, who he even knocked out. Bisping, null and void another loss. Null and void another loss. You saw that one too, right? AI, you seen all of them. So you know that Bisping lost that fucking fight. You know Bisping should have been finished. You fucking know it. Honestly, if I'm just being real, that's still 50-50. It's still 50-50 with that one. But you know the deal, bro. Silva beat his ass. Then Silva celebrated and he blew his wad, and he couldn't lock back in for the fight. But you know that, right, AI? Because you watched all the fights. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's what happened. Buzzer beater knockout, I think, in the 2nd round for Silva. And then then Silva celebrating. Bisping goes back to his corner. Herb Dean says the fight's still on. And Silva shook now. He tapped out of the fight. Not literally tapped out to quit, but he was mentally checked out. Then the 3rd round he lost, and then he dropped a decision. But look at all these losses, bro. They don't even fucking count. Breaking his leg against Weidman, right? Fluke injury. Like 11 losses holding them against him is crazy. That's what's crazy, AI. And you know it is. Anderson literally knocked Bisping out. Read what I asked you. Read my GSP question. Honestly, I'm ignoring some of them because they're like... Griffin, who lost to nobody except almost everybody, right? Well, again, at the time that Griffin and Anderson fought, it wasn't that, AI, and that's what you need to start realizing is like this revisionist history of looking at their resumes as a whole and then seeing how the fights played out. That's not fair, bro. That's not fair. You can't say, oh yeah, he lost to everyone after he lost to Silva. Like, what the fuck? Judge it based off of, his career until he fought Silva. Let's put GSP and Silva in comparison. Both have too many defenses. One got 11 losses and the other 2 losses. How can you compare them? Because Anderson Silva was knocking the fuck out of everybody. And GSP was like getting a bunch of decisions and jabbing people's faces off. So again, you talk about the losses, AI, you're fundamentally fucked with this because you won't let go of the losses, bro. Let go of the fucking losses. How many times do I have to tell you that? Judge the title reigns. You're over here speaking about losses. Why don't you talk about 1, 2, 3? Sorry, my bad. Let me recount that. Why don't you talk about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight knockout streak? Right? Why don't you talk about that? You're talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fight knockout streak as a champion. All right. Moving up a weight class as a champion, knocking out the former heavyweight champion in the first round, and you just have no respect for that. But you got all the respect in the world for Volkanovski, right? Losing to Islam. You got all the respect in the world for that. A guy moving up a weight class and Islam beating that dude. You got all the respect in the world for that, but you don't got respect for a smaller guy moving up and knocking out the former light heavyweight champion. You don't got respect for that in the first round. Not even Islam could do that. Your precious Islam, who took JDM to a 5-round decision. You know, that could never be fucking Anderson Silva in his prime when he was running the UFC. AI, you got anything else for me or what? You wanted me to scroll all the way up just for that, just to answer that because you couldn't figure that out on your own. Homie, you found your new daddy. It's me. So, you know, luckily for you, I'm live every night. We can work on our relationship a little bit. You know, we don't need to be so hostile. But, you know, you found your new daddy, and it's me. And it's me. You got any more questions for me? Talking about, let's put GSP and Silva in comparison. Both have too many defenses. One got 11 losses, and the other two has 2 losses. How can you compare them? Yeah, let's not even mention what they did during their title streaks, because that just don't even matter at all. You know, let's not even mention the fights that took place, you know, the numbers that they generated. Let's not mention that at all. Let's just forget all about that, because, you know, they fought for another 10 years after losing the belt in Anderson Silva, right? Meanwhile, GSP fucking retired after he lost to Johnny Hendricks, and he got gifted that decision. We can go on for days, AI. I woke up to this. You just came here. You have all these points. You're giving me your best fucking points right now. I just came into this. Okay, I didn't ask for this. I just came into this. I'm giving you all the best. You're giving me all your best points. I'm destroying them. Talking about the 11 losses to 2. Yeah, maybe because Anderson Silva kept fighting because he loves the fucking game, bro. And you're still holding that against him. Meanwhile, GSP ran away and hid after losing a decision to Johnny Hendricks and getting gifted it. All right, that's add another loss to Johnny Hendricks' record while we subtract at least 6 from Silva's. You know, now we're at like fucking, you know, 5 losses and 3 losses. That ain't too far off. Plus all the knockouts on the record during the title defense streak, it ain't too far off. Yeah, never forget that. GSP, right, retires and runs away into hiding after getting gifted a decision from Johnny Hendricks after getting BTA'd for 5 fucking rounds. Then he comes back for a favorable matchup when when Bisping steals the belt off of Luke Rockhold. Right? He sees an opportunity to come back and steal that shit, so he does it. Then he immediately retires because of his scary ass. Actually, sorry, his ass couldn't stop shitting. He had fucking, you know, whatever the fuck that disease is, colitis or something. God forbid I get that, you know. But let me just give a little bit of entertainment, troll a little bit, you know. Not because of his scary ass, because his ass couldn't stop shitting because he got colitis moving up to 185 from 170. You know, did Anderson Silva ever bitch about moving up to 205 from 185 to knock out Forrest Griffin in the first round? No. And didn't Anderson Silva, you know, necessarily do that sooner than GSP? Come on now. Fuck with my lore some more. Fuck with my lore some more. Lewis goes, but bro, you're not listening to yourself. No, I'm listening to myself. You're not listening to yourself. When we rank resumes, we need to consider losses that they matter as much as wins. I've already explained that to you, and the only person that the losses matter to is you, AI. It's the only person that the losses matter to. It's you. The losses don't matter to anyone else, and I'm not even saying losses don't matter. Not even saying losses don't matter. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, yeah, maybe a loss here and there, if you want to single out a loss and speak on it and say, this was a circumstantial loss, he was really supposed to beat this guy and he didn't, it proved he wasn't on that level. Okay, we could go there with it. But just a group, every loss isn't the same, every win isn't the same. So you can't be grouping in losses like they're fucking, like it's just some like, tallies you count up and then it's like, fuck this guy, he got 11, the other guy got 3. The fuck are you on? How mad would you be if AI was really an AI sent to troll? Maybe a little annoyed, but it's actually, you boys enjoying this? I'm sure you are. Waiting for Islam to get KO'd. But Volk has 4 losses, not 11. Volk has 3 wins over Max, who's top 10 goats. Does Silva have even one? Bro, we've already like disproved your point so many times. Silva is a top 5 goat. You're saying, does Silva have even one? Does Silva have even one what? Stop getting aggressive. We are just debating. If I'm being aggressive, just understand that this is just how I like to be. I just like to debate like this. I don't mean anything by AI. I would forgive you in a couple minutes. I'm not actually mad. I just, get a little bit passionate. I'm dead, bros. Removing losses, trying to get the resume better. Yeah, I did say that. I only need 1 point to bear you, and it's the max win for Volk is better than all Silva wins combined. Same for Islam. You're tripping. Volk beating Max is better than any of Silva's wins combined. I have no clue what you're even saying. It's not a loss here and there. It's 11 losses. After he lost the title, AI. You want to acknowledge that or no? Silva stepped up to fight DC on 2 days' notice. He's a RN. Yeah, except AI, holds that against him. AI holds that against him, being an RN. And he lost. Ha ha ha. It doesn't even matter. His career was over with. Who's your guys' Mount Rushmore of MMA? Honestly, when I gave the GOATs, I kind of included as a Mount Rushmore. But Mount Rushmore is a little bit different. You got to put like Royce Gracie in there. You got to put BJ Penn in there. You got to put Conor McGregor in there. You might have to put Ronda Rousey in there. And then maybe just John Jones for the sake of it. That's probably my Mount Rushmore. You're talking about the founding fathers now. Lou AI does online school, LOL. High T levels in this chat, baby boy. Yeah. Don't be sensitive, AI. We argue like boys in this chat. We fucking, I'm gonna yell at you if you piss me off, and you're just gonna have to sit there and take it. Does Silva have 1 win? That's the caliber of Max for the Volk resume. Bro, I've already explained it to you. 7 knockouts in a row to defend his title defense streak. Does Volk have that? That's what you do. You just like hear my points, you breeze past it, you bring up another point. So we've already given all the points. You want to bring up a point? Does Silva have 1 win? That's the caliber of Max for the Volk resume. Okay, let me do what you do. Does Volkanovski have 7 knockouts in a row to start off his title reign at 145? Can you answer that one, AI? Yes or no? Does Volkanovski have 11 knockouts to start off his title reign at 145? Yes or no? Asking me if Silva got 1 comparable win to Max Holloway. The fuck are you on, homie? His first fucking win, he beat Rich Franklin. He was 22-1. He just made it look easy. But you hold that against him. Meanwhile, Volk fucking, beat Holloway in a 5-round decision, then lost the rematch, but it was gifted the decision. You know, that's your guy. Volk. Volk's chill. But like, don't you dare disrespect Anderson Silva. Rich Franklin, just because he breezed through him in the first round, Franklin was hailing a 22-1 record. Anderson Silva is green in the UFC, coming off a 1 win. The fuck are you talking about? Comparing a Silva win to Volk's win. Yeah, the one when he won the fucking belt. How about that? Are you familiar with who Dan Henderson was? You must not be familiar with Dan Henderson either. Like, honestly. AI goes, listen, it's your opinion, but I think you have nostalgia bias. It happens to me sometimes. I'll be thinking Habib was so dominant, undefeated, he's the GOAT, but the reality, he is not. No, I agree with you on Habib, bro. And I honestly, like, listen, I can respect that opinion. You know, I try not to have what's the word, nostalgia bias, to be honest with you. I try not to have it. But when you talk about goats, bro, you're talking about history. You know, I think it would be ill advised, right, to have all your goats be these like newer guys. Like, who are your goats? AI, drop your goats in the fucking chat. I'd love to hear it. But like Islam being in a GOAT conversation with all the guys who have paved the way for him, I just don't even see that. Like, when you speak about a GOAT conversation, I mean, you're effectively putting nostalgia into it because you're talking about the GOATs, bro, all time. All time. And then you want me to spit out like, you know, these new guys because on account of like, you know, not being nostalgia bias. Like, bro, I ain't being nostalgia bias. Once again, the GOATs. John Jones, Anderson Silva, BJ Penn, Conor McGregor, and Demetrius Johnson. These guys accomplished the most. They did the most. Demetrius, the longest title defense streak in history. Anderson, the second longest. John Jones, you know, the undefeated all-time GOAT. BJ Penn, the first ever two-division champion. Conor McGregor, you know, two-division champion, made all the money. Knocked out Jose Aldo in 7 seconds. Knocked out Eddie Alvarez. Like, AI says, I'm not. I'm enjoying the debate. Okay, perfect. Perfect. We're on the same page. We could be best friends right after this, AI. Believe me. Believe me. I got no problem with that. Well, if Silva fought the same company level that Volk did, there is no way he gets that. Plus, Volk's style isn't a KO style. He is a technical fighter, doesn't have same power, and he still wins the press. Okay, all right. I don't know what you want me to say to that. Again, homie, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. AI, you need to stop it with your ifs. If Silva had the same level of competition Volk got, bro, what the fuck? He didn't, bro. What are you on? Yes, we can be friends. Don't worry. Sounds good, AI. Heard that at the time Lieben was supposed to murk Silva. Does Derek Lewis have better wins than Arman Tsarukyan? Hendo bombs. He doesn't know anyone from before 2016, probably, if that. Oh, I already answered. 1 Jones, 2 Islam, 3 GSP, 4 Volk, 5 DJ, 6 Habibs. Oh, we're going 10. Okay, shit, we're going 10. 1 Jones, 2 Islam. Islam being the second greatest of all time is crazy. 3 GSP. Not to say Islam can't potentially be that in the future. It's just a tough conversation to have. 3 GSP, 4 Volk, 5 DJ, 6 Habib, 7 DC, 8 Ilya, 9 Marab, 10 Pereira or Camaro. It's not a bad list, homie. I like your list, homie. I ain't even, I ain't even gonna debate you if I don't have to. I like your list, If you don't like mine, that's fine. You don't got a bad list. I respect it. I get what you're doing with the list, I get it. You're going off the guys who are the hardest to beat. I don't know if you looked up records and came up with it that way, but I agree with you. Like DC, showing DC respect like that, like I respect it. Ilya, he's one of the best I ever seen. Just to kind of break it down, Ilya is one of the best I ever seen. Marab is a really hard individual to beat. So it's clear that your rankings and your arguments, they're in line with your line of thinking. 10 Pereira or Kamaru. I wouldn't hate on it. 1 Jones, 2 Islam, 3 GSP, 4 Volk. Yeah, I like that you show respect to Volk. I like that you show respect to DC. Putting Habib in there isn't bad. Yeah, it's not a bad list. It's not a bad list. Use the if when you tried to remove Silva losses. All right, shit, whatever. Whatever if I use the if. I was trolling for the Silva losses. But I'm trying to explain to you, AI. I'm not saying remove them completely. Actually, there's no if with the Silva losses. There's no if with the Silva losses. It's a matter of fact, AI. Silva lost 4 fights before he got into the UFC. And then he lost, all those fights after losing his belt. So, that's why I take away the losses. I use the if thing with the Anderson Silva and the Bisping or whatever, if you want to use it that way. But I didn't really. I just explained to you, and I don't want to do it again. I think it's the standards. We use different standards. For me, it's wins and losses and competition level. For you, it's title defenses and stardom. Yeah, to some degree. To some degree. It's a good conversation to have. But I did actually want to look up like what the list is. Tapology is not bad to go to, right? Tapology got the top 5 fighters of all time. The greatest MMA fighters of all time, according to Tapology. Islam. Okay. John Jones. Anderson Silva. Holy, my bad. Alex Volkanovski. That's insane that I got Anderson Silva. Alex Volkanovski, number 5. DC 6, Silva 7. I still respect your opinion. We just had to go through the list. I respect your opinion as well, homie. Oh yeah, the debate. We had to debate. I enjoy a debate. AI, one thing about me, I enjoy a debate. I mean, shit, I just isolated you, haven't been reading any other chats necessarily. I just been reading for yours, so you can tell. Those are fan rankings. Yeah, I know. That's why I kind of went with it. Is there a different? There's not a different ranking. I think Tapology is fan rankings, which is why I went with it. Where's Connor the Mac? I know they don't even put him on here. Prayer already surpassed him. Connor's 21. Oh, click Tapology official rankings. This is top fighters by division. They don't have the all-time. It's been a fun debate. It's been fun. It's been fun. I think we concluded the debate though, but it was a good one for sure. So yeah, the top 5 goats are GSP, DJ, John Jones, Volk, and DC. Top 6. Aspinall the greatest heavy. Call into debate like MMA now. Shout out MMA Now. MMA Now wants no more parts of me after that debate. All right. Well, I was gonna keep going over the UFC card today, so let me just finish that real quick. I don't got much more. Obviously, we don't have to discuss the whole card, and I didn't watch it as I admitted to you guys. Don't be sleeping on Islam. Most people have him top 4 already, and I'm guessing in a few fights, most could consider him the GOAT. Nah, yeah. I got my mind open. Maybe I could even, like, if you ask me tomorrow after thinking about it, I might even change my list up a little bit. Like, I think maybe I should have put Volk in there. Maybe I should have. It's just tough, bro, because that whole Volk Anderson Silva debate is a good one. That's a good debate. Who deserves it more, Volk or Anderson Silva? Fire card overall. Yeah, it seemed to be a good card. Gage Young, a new prospect on the block. Mauricio Barbosa got that good knockout over Dennis Bazooka. How would a fight between me and MMA Joey go? Oh, I definitely I think I beat almost every MMA YouTuber's ass. Respect to you, bro. You don't be stubborn and you actually reconsider things. Yeah, definitely. I got an open mind, homie. There's not too much manipulation or something like that in the debates. It's straight down the middle, straight down the middle. I don't like to manipulate to get my point across. If I got to lie to get my point across or something like that, then I don't got a good point. So I'd rather just admit my point's not good. Not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying. Yeah, Robert Valentine. Shout out, I guess. Oh, Gokon, Suricom. I didn't watch these fights, but Perry Punch finna take over MMA YouTube. Shout out to the homie Gabe. I would love to do that. I would love to take over MMA YouTube. We on our way. My biggest matchup is gonna be MMA Guru. I need the biggest guy, bro. I need the biggest guy to run a fade with me. But if for those that don't know, I've been calling out Nick Diaz's son, Martin Sano Jr. Any fighter interviews coming soon. We can get some in the mix. Give me 1 second though. We good, boys. We good. I see everybody going neighbor knocking. Uh-oh. He finna pipe her down to keep her quiet. Oh, shout out to Jew. Shout out to Jew. She'd have to pay me. I'd be like, shit. I'd be like, bitch, your pussy too fucking nasty. That pussy too nasty. Bong rip after all that drama. That was some good drama. What's poppin', JJ? JJ in the chat. I see you, homie. Burns always crying. Shit, Burns always crying. Air Javi in this bitch. What's poppin', Air Javi? What's poppin', homie? Shout out Andrew Nansen, Jacob. Damn, Andrew getting the shout out right alongside me is crazy. Shout out Ron Loke. You hear that, Andrew Nance? Shout out Andrew Nance and Jacob in tandem. Shouting us out in tandem. Andrew Nance deserves it. Big supporter of the channel. Big bag dropper. So we love Andrew Nance. Just a big supporter in general. Always commenting. Just always interacting in the channel. I love it. Best UFC channel right here. Shout out to Air Javi once again, homie. I be seeing you on the Instagram comments too. Don't think I don't see it. When they brought the family in, I felt that shit, bro. The little sons with the afros and shit like that. Nah, it's it's emotional. Shout out to Gilbert, bro. I think I'm the only one who doesn't want to see Islam versus Ilya, as they are my number 1 and 2 favorite fighters, and I don't want to see either of them lose. AI, I just want to see it, bro, because I want to see who the best is. I want to see who the best is. And I honestly, personally, AI, and anyone else in the chat, I think that I'm probably just crazy with this thought, and I'm probably just like biased or something. Something Ilya's done over the last couple years has just got in my head or something. But I'm rocking with Ilya. You know, I think Ilya beats Islam at 72. Call me crazy, but shit, Ilya's confidence is insane. So that's why I believe in it. Who are my top 5 current favorite fighters? I want to see Islam lose passionately. Shit, put him up against Ilya. That's the best bet. I want to see that at 55, though. Yeah, 55 is the place to run it, except Islam not going back down to 55. I can almost promise you. If Ilya does it, it'd be legendary. At 172, where everybody told him he couldn't, I mean, 3rd title. I think Islam wins, but I never rule out Ilya. He is a beast. Okay. I got you. AI, usually people who are fans of Ilya or Islam, they hate the other camp. So I'm not used to hearing people show respect to both. Like I'm telling you, usually if somebody likes Islam, they're going to be like, oh yeah, Ilya, there's no way he could beat him. And if somebody likes Ilya, they say no way Islam could beat him. So I'm one of these people. I do respect them both. And, you know, I do think that Ilya has more of a shot than people give him at 170 even. Do I think it'll be harder? Yeah, obviously. But styles make fights, and it's not like Islam's a lot taller than Ilya. Franklin dropping a $10 dono saying on 10. Shout out to Franklin. Thank you for the dono, my boy. And hope the night's going well. If you gambling out there, I hope the tables are treating you nicely. You know, the bookies, the slot machines, whatever you gambling on. Perry, you got a romance going with AI. Yeah, AI coming in the chat today. He got some good stuff to drop in here. You know, this is not even a Q&A stream, but AI, he has good questions. We've been doing Q&A streams too, but this isn't one of them. That would be crazy. We are big fans of Perry Punch in Miami. Shout out M-Gal. What's poppin', homie? Good to see you in here, M-Gal. Yeah, I played your birthday when you were going off. LOL hit 7. Shout out to Franklin. Let's go. While I was going off, you got a win. I love it. The rants are good luck. They have been my number 1 and number 2 favorites since before Ilya fought Volk, so I'm not one of his new toxic fan base of both. I got you. Good shit. Tony M says, "Yo, Perry, did any fighters inspire you jiu-jitsu wise in your BJJ days?" Yeah. I mean, Damian Maia. Well, when I was training jiu-jitsu, Damian Maia was one of the top ones. Brian Ortega, definitely one of the top jiu-jitsu guys, you know, putting on for the game. Trying to think of another one. The Diaz brothers, bro. To be honest with you, Tony, one of my like when I was actually training, I would look up like Nate Diaz like competition on YouTube, and I'd see him like in these tournaments rolling with people, and I would literally like mock their moves a little bit in real life. Like the Diaz brothers, I'll give you one example just to prove the point. The Diaz brothers, they like to go high guard. So like, you know, usually you do the guard around the waist, right? Around the hips. But I noticed when I was watching film on the Diaz brothers, they go high guard. So like instead of locking the legs around the waist, you know, they're locking the legs around like the lats, like the upper mid back area. and it's to break the opponent's posture, right? Set up like some arm bars, triangles, and shit. So, yeah, I used to look at the Diaz brothers training footage. Great question, Tony. BJ Penn was an inspiration because I found out he was like the youngest to ever do it. Youngest black belt in history and shit like that. So, M Gal shouting out the IG saying your Instagram is awesome, man. I get all of my combat sports news from there. Shout out M Gal. Thank you. UFC Canada card bombed on ticket sales. I mean, figures, Jew. It figures, homie. You know, yeah. UFC in a crazy state, bro. It's in a crazy state right now. I love the UFC, but I'm not surprised that they're bombing on ticket sales. I mean, who's going to see that shit? I'm ready to see Buck beat that dog shit out of Brady. Let's go, Air Javi. Buck gonna, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but we believe in Buck. We ride in with Buck. Andrew Nance dropping his Brandon Moreno emojis in the chat. Oh, you still didn't answer. Who are your current favorite 5? Burns got destroyed. Malott versus who next? Says Mgal. Mgal, I'm kind of saying, you know, it's an unpopular pick, but I say MVP, bro. I say MVP. Fuck all the bullshit. I know what they're going to say because we already talked about it. You know, MVP, he's going to beat Malott, and then he's going to continue to stink up the welterweight rankings. Well, then if Malott can't beat MVP, he ain't certified. RAF 08 had a better lineup even with the headliner canceled. Yeah, yeah. Bro, it's like I'm gonna respond, Lou AI. Damn, AI goes, I was rewatching Brady versus Leon, and man, he got fast hands. I think he beats Buck 29-28. AI, I don't know if you're familiar, because you said you're new to the channel. But I got clips from a exclusive Joaquin Buckley pre-fight interview dropping every day. I had a clip drop today. But I got all these clips dropping right now. The full interview is going to drop after the clips. But go tap into that interview, Lou, if you want to know about, you know, Joaquin's mindset going into this fight. MVP Malott is fun. AI2A says was having a good was having a good day until I saw your face. What's poppin', homie? I've missed you, AI. To be honest, I've missed you. There's a bit of endearment I feel in my heart seeing you in the chat. Is Malott with Whitman now? Damn AI, we just had a better AI spawn in. Yeah, AI, you have been kind of replaced with Lou AI. You know, just want to let you know that. I will do later, thank you. I got you. Real AI in the house. Real AI in the house. Real ones know. Okay, my top 5 current favorite fighters. I mean, this is going to be a difficult one. Not really, actually. But I mean, okay, my top 5 favorite fighters right now. Definitely Joaquin. You know, definitely Joaquin's one of my favorites. Call it what you want to call it. I'm putting it out there first just because I know you guys are going to be like, homie biased, blah, blah, blah. Fine. I'm biased. But I love to watch Joaquin Buckley fights. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway. Honestly, it sounds crazy, but I want to go like Vulcan Islam. You know, if I'm being real. If I'm being real, you know, that would be like my top 5. Maybe I'm missing people. I haven't really thought about this at this moment in time. But yeah, I want to say like Joaquin. Obviously, I'm throwing him up there with real champions, right? So we could put him fifth. Max, because he's not a champion right now. I'll do like Volk. I'll do Islam, and I'll do Ilya. So we have 3 in common. Yeah. If we're talking right now, I'm super high on Ilya, bro. I mean, how could you not be? And then Volk too, it's like the thing about Volk that I think a lot of people underestimate is Volk is so fucking good, bro. Like he's one of the best I've ever feasted my eyes on. You know, that's why I said maybe I should put Volk up in my top 5 because the amount of respect I have for Volk is like tremendous because of, you know, the contrast, which is like the amount of shit fighters in the UFC. It makes me love Volk that much more. It makes me appreciate him that much more. Because I'm like, wow, it is possible. You know, you can be great in the UFC. You don't have to have mid striking like 90% of the roster. I just keep waiting on you to sneak in Marab. Shout out Marab. Marab's good. Marab's good. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites to watch though. Nice. I'm just starting Jits and Mir seems pretty beastly. Okay, Tony. Good shit. Yeah. Watch competition footage, you know, and watch entry level stuff, Tony. If I could give you one piece of advice, like I would Google up you know, Conor McGregor like jujitsu tournament training footage because he was young, right? He was still learning. He wasn't like elite yet. So you can kind of see, you know, a level that you're probably actually at, right? Sometimes if you watch too good of guys, they're so good it's hard to even compare. So watch some beginner guys, watch some guys that you like from the past. Or how do I say this? Watch some of the guys from today that you like, but watch their old footage when they were coming up so you can see those kinds of skills while they were still developing. That's actually some good game right there. Because you want to kind of like, you know, lock in the fundamentals before you try the fancy shit. And sometimes, you know, when you see really good guys, you just try all the fancy shit and you ignore a lot of fundamentals. So that's why I'm saying like look at some, you know, blue belt tournament type shit training footage. Lou AI is such a good guy with good takes. Yeah, he is. He is. He a wholesome dude. He a wholesome dude. He a real one. Haha, 95% says Franklin. You know me, homie. You already know. The most mid striking you ever seen exists in the UFC. Poirier and Aspinall used to be there, but one retired and the other got replaced with Joshua Van. Okay, okay. Yeah, I like Joshua Van too. We seen how legends like Silva and Aldo started a loss streak when they got older. Volk at 38 beating Hungry Lopez twice is crazy. That's a great point. That's a great point. That's a great point. Speaks to what I'm saying, right? And who else did that? People are gonna hate on him because they always do. But Floyd did that. Who dominated in his early age? Floyd Mayweather. I think that Volk is like the Floyd Mayweather of MMA. The technicality is actually crazy. People want to be like me, but nothing beats old as gold. Shout out AI 2A. Old as gold. I feel that. Is it? Mgal says I'm staying at my friend in Rancho Niguel. Damn, Mgal. Mgal in my fucking city. Damn, Mgal, you in my city, homie? You be giving too much game on this channel, Perry. I don't gatekeep, Space Kid. Come on now. I try to give you guys all the game I got. I never gatekeep that shit. But shout out to Space Kid for recognizing. If you boys got questions, you know, I love to kind of give some advice if I can. You check in, Mgal? Mgal, you good, homie? You good? Thanks for checking in, Mgal. That I'll count that as checking in. I'll count that as checking in. Mgal, you good, homie? You good? Welcome to my city, homie. I hope you enjoy. You wanna share any outtakes from this? Oh, you said soon. You're not there yet. You there soon. I was gonna say, man, you want to share any outtakes with the chat about my city? I was gonna say you gotta go hit Laguna Beach. Just go kick it at the beaches, homie. That's all we do out here. We just go kick it at the beaches. We go on some hikes and shit like that. We fuck a couple bad bitches or something like that on a Friday night, out at the bars. But other than that, that's the OC Cali vibes right there. We hit the beaches, we go on hikes. Not too bougie, to be honest. I know people like to make it bougie, but that's like the outsiders, bro. The locals, we beach folks. We beach folks. We like we like going to sandwich shops, going to little delis and shit like that. Going to get some like pho. You feel me? That's kind of what we do around here. Look at me giving free game again. That's what we do around here, though. All that shit about like, oh, go to OC, go to Nobu. I'm telling you, the locals don't fuck with Nobu. They do, obviously, but it ain't that shit. That ain't OC. OC, it's what I just explained it to be. Go to a little deli, get yourself a sandwich, go hit the beach, go on a little hike afterwards, hit one of the bars in Newport, Laguna Beach. And that's the full OC experience right there. Checking in. Big OC, the big OC. He checking in with Perry. Yeah, make sure you boys check in when you come to town. Shout out to Jew. Jew making sure that homie checks in. California, here we come. AI goes, Perry, I have no purpose in this life since you got loose, so I won't ever be back. All right, homie. I mean, do you want me to beg you to stay or something, or what the fuck? Ron Loke says, MGal is OG. The thing I realized about AI2A, he's so problematic all the time. Like, he could just be in this chat and enjoy it. But he has to be like, oh, I don't got a purpose in here. I'm never coming back. Perry. I lost my purpose. There's another AI in here. I'm never coming back. It's like, just chill the fuck out, homie. Sit in the chat and, partake in the conversation. Like, you and your problematic ways, bro. MGal is OG. I know from Bulgarian Cowboy Dougie Corner channel. Dude goes to a lot of events. Yeah, he does. Yeah, MGal goes to a lot of events in Florida. Like that show, The OC. Shout out Vlad. Shout out to DJ Vlad. And yeah, the show, The OC. My sister used to watch that. Perry, what do you think of the 559? I don't know about the 559. AI versus Lou AI poll. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Old AI or new AI? Yeah, we got to do a poll. New AI is going to, or old AI is going to die. I mean, I don't know what you guys are going to pick. I don't know what you guys are going to pick. I'm doing the poll. I just put it up. I want to read Lou AI's chat right now, but I had something else I wanted to say. Guess I forgot it. So Lou AI goes, what do you think is a very underrated legend? For me, I think it's Kamaru. He only got 3 UFC losses, one against Khamzat, one was a fluke, and he dominated everyone, including Prime Woodley. Who do I think is an underrated legend? If we're going to, I mean, it's a great one. It's a great one. Kamaru's pretty underrated. Yeah, Kamaru's pretty underrated. I mean, I'm trying to exercise self-control and not bring Joaquin into the conversation, but I can't help it. It's like, I think Joaquin's a pretty underrated fighter too. He's not a legend, but I think in today's landscape, he's pretty underrated. I know he lost to Usman, but I think a lot of people think he sucks, and I would, I would love to see him prove all of his doubters wrong against Sean Brady. You know, at UFC 328. Right now, I think that Joaquin's one of the more underestimated guys. In history, underestimated. I could say like Bisping, AI. I would say like a Bisping who's pretty underestimated. But Kamaru's the best one. Kamaru's the best one. You're kind of red pilling me with your whole losses thing. Because I want to say like Nate Diaz is underrated too. People don't respect him, but I mean, he deserves respect. He's actually a pretty good fighter. Yeah, he has losses, but he's a pretty good fighter, bro. He's a pretty damn good fighter. And speaking about as guys get older, Nate Diaz getting his ass beat by Mike Malott could never be him. You know, the way Gilbert Burns just did could never be him. He beat me fair. I was actually born in Fresno, the 559, but spent no time there really. Okay, 559 is Fresno. At least add a third option and say both are noobs. Uh, Fresno's chill. Fresno's chill. Okay, AI. If you want mine, I'll probably say Bisping, bro. I'll probably say Bisping. I really thought that Bisping was a really good fighter, throughout his career. But obviously, I mean, like I think Usman. I think Usman's a good example, and I can't think of another one similar to an Usman. I'd rather lose like Nate Diaz than win how most of these fighters win nowadays. Like how Kyler Phillips wins his fights if he ever gets another win again. Air Javi. Kyler Phillips, he the king of taking you down and laying on you. All you got to do is push the pace with Kyler Phillips. Rory McDonald, no doubt. Yeah, Rory. Rory. It's a good question. I'd have to think about that one more. Usman's probably like the easiest one though, and the clearest one. Anyway, I guess I'll probably end up getting off here in a minute. How long we been live for? An hour and a half. It's 10:50. I'm just feeling my battery a little bit drained at the moment. Just to be transparent with you boys. I know it's an abrupt, I'm going to get off here, but I'm not getting off right this minute. But I'm just considering getting off in the next 10. But shout out to everybody watching. I'm enjoying everybody being in here right now. Um Yeah, I respect Nate for accepting a fight against a monster like Khamzat when no one else did. Definitely, definitely. I don't really like Izzy and Connor, but I have mad respect for them. They fought everyone they offered them and never ducked a wrestler. It's true. It's true. And Izzy, Izzy had a good title reign. 45 of 90 days, you can do it. That's why I think I'm just getting burnt out because I've just been going live. It's just been a lot of days. We're probably in the 50 range, maybe even the 60 range. Probably 50. We're probably in about like 55 days or something. I want to say we're somewhere around there. We can actually look it up real quick. Should we look up how many days I've been live in a row? March 4th. I started before March. Wait, how many days are in February? It's 28 days in February, so I started before March. I started Looks like I started February 24th. Took a break on the 23rd. So I started on February 24th. How many days has it been since February 24th? How many days has it been since Feb 24? 53 days. We've been live for 53 days straight. We haven't beat our old streak is like 70 something. So we haven't even beat the new streak yet. But it's not 21-minute stream. You barely kept the streak alive the other day, 21-minute stream. I know. That was just to keep it alive. I see Space Kid saying, "Ah, really?" I know. I'm considering just hopping off here shortly. I don't know when. We should all donate on day 90. Got to be a special stream. Damn. Shit, that would make my day, Tyler Betts. That would make my fucking day, homie. If you guys spam the donos on day 90. You know, sometimes I be thinking, I'm like, damn, I'm on this 90-day live stream streak and no one gives a fuck. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I think that. So, but then again, I know that a lot of you guys like it. So I keep doing it. For those who care, I guess you could say. For those who care, you know, just know I do it for you guys. Because in the back of my mind, I do think that there's some people who don't give a fuck about it. And it's fine. Not everyone's gonna give a fuck about what you do. But for those who care, I go live every day for you guys. Do you always start your streams in the same time? Yeah. About I'll start the streams anywhere from like 7 p.m. Pacific AI to like 10 p.m. Pacific. Usually start within that window. Tyler Betts goes, not low key. I respect the grind / hustle. Shout out to homie. Thank you very much, Tyler Betts. Perry wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for me. Yeah, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for AI2A. Everyone donate 5 rebels. Run up the likes. Yeah, everybody run up the likes. You guys know the deal. 25 likes on the evening if possible. How do you think every GOAT of a division would do against the current champ of that division? Well, let me give you a comparison, AI. Let me give you a comparison. Let's go Conor McGregor prime on Ilia Topuria prime. Ilia kills him. Prime on prime, though. And that's a tough conversation to have, the prime on prime. Can I change my vote? No. Today late. Yeah, today a bit late. I waited for the card to end. But if you look at what Anderson Silva, the GOAT of middleweight, right? How does he do against Khamzat? Gets destroyed. Prime versus prime gets destroyed. Olberg versus John Jones. John Jones takes that ass today. Ilya Def smokes him. Yeah, definitely. John Jones takes Olberg's ass today, though. Who's the heavyweight GOAT? I honestly never seen nothing like Ilya. Me neither, bro. In all my fucking years, I never seen anything like that guy. Let's go from 125 to heavyweight. Okay. Let's do that. AI, that's a great one. Shout out to AI, homie. Make sure you're in these streams from now on, though. I like you in here. We're going to go from 125 to heavyweight, and then we're going to dip out of here. Okay, we're going to dip out of here after that. Yeah, Jones 100% beats all current light heavyweights. Yeah, light heavyweights cooked. It's another conversation. We already had that conversation last week. But anyway, I've done some of them. So let's go 125. Oh, for me, it's Francis, but people say Miocic. Let's go Francis just because he's tougher to beat. Okay, so we're gonna go at heavyweight because we're right here right now, and then we're gonna go back down to 125. If we're talking about heavyweight, yeah, Tyler Betts goes heavyweight. Got to be Stipe. Stipe. I get it. I get it. But at the same, AI goes appreciate it. AI. It's talking to the other AI homie, not you. uh, if we're speaking Francis with the current heavyweight champion, who is Tom Aspinall. Oh, that's a good question. Francis versus Aspinall. Francis puts Aspinall out, bro. Francis is colding Aspinall. I don't know who needs to hear that. Now going down to 125. HT saying, hey, Jay, what's poppin', HT? Now going down to 125, we got Demetrius Johnson versus Joshua Van. I think Demetrius, to prime Demetrius, not today's Demetrius. Prime Demetrius beats Joshua Van, I mean, every day of the week. And that's, Joshua Van needs to put some respect on his name because Joshua Van don't even know who the fuck he is. And then if we go 135, we got Peter Yan. Who's the 135-pound goat? We got to go Marab, right? 135-pound goat is Marab. Well, that was real. That's a really easy one to do. Yes, Prime. Yeah, so Marab versus Peter Yan. I think Peter Yan beats him again. Is Marab in his prime now, or did they already fight when they were both in their prime? I'll let you guys answer that question. I honestly don't even know. I'd have to look at their ages and everything like that at the time, and I'm not really feeling that right now. Marab versus Yan, we already saw that. Yeah, and I'll give it to Yan. Yan beating Marab in the rematch, the trilogy, I should say. 145. The GOAT is Bro, I miss how people used to talk about Sergey before losing to Tom. Remember when they were hyping up that Sergey fight with John Jones, Space Kid? You remember that shit? They're like, oh my gosh, look at John Jones next to the polar bear. Now no one fucking talks about that. 145, the GOAT is Volkanovski. Volk versus Volk. Yeah, Volk versus Volk. And Volk already did it with Jose Aldo, Max Holloway. I guess he didn't do it with McGregor. But Prime versus Prime, I mean, honestly, damn. The problem is, though, McGregor was so big for 45, he could have maybe put out a Volk. What'd you think about that one? What do you guys think? Conor versus Volk. Prime versus Prime at 45. Conor versus Volk. Who you guys got? I feel like Conor could have slept Volk. Let me know who you guys think. Damn, old AI and new AI, the debate or the poll is heating up. It's 50-50 still. 50-50 still. Bro, I just want to watch Colby versus Arman. Arman's going to throw Colby all around that arena. McGregor sleeps Volk. I think so. I think Khabib has top 3 chins in UFC history. I see him wrestle beating Ilya. I think Conor, man, low key. I know. AI, I agree. Conor. Yeah, he did have brawling shoulders at 45. Huh? Yeah, he did, bro. He was massive. Conor was massive for the weight class, bro. Gay streamer. Okay, AI. We're not even gonna wait. I got this one. No one do it but me. Yeah, I got it. Take 5, homie. Take your bitch ass on a lap. Okay, so Volk destroys McGregor. Okay, HT. All right. Conor 6 out of 10 versus Volk. Okay, I got you. 6 out of 10 times Conor beats Volk. 155. Lightweight GOAT is it Islam? Islam's the GOAT over Khabib. Islam versus Islam. Give him a day. There you go, AI. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Conor reach was his biggest advantage. Yeah, it's true. Islam. Yeah, I don't know how to rank 155. Islam versus Islam again. Here he comes on an IT watch. Yeah, he's gonna come on his new one. Yeah, listen here, don't time me out. Here he comes. Perry NGA. Gotta respect the hustle from AI. You guys can hit Perry NGA with the timeouts and shit. BJ Penn is my lightweight goat. Okay, if BJ Penn's your lightweight goat, BJ versus Islam gets destroyed. You guys can put him in timeout. There we go. Shout out to Drew. Thank you. He gonna hop on here on another ult in a minute. Just give him some time. Okay, I guess 55 is a hard one to do. Oh, my bad, my bad. I'm tripping. I told you I'm tired, AI, so just bear with me. Ilya is the champ at 55, and what, Islam's the 55-pound goat? I think Islam's the 55-pound goat. You want to hear something crazy? I don't know, guys. Like sometimes I do get caught up in the theatrics of things. And I think I am with the Ilya versus Islam fight. I'm rocking with Ilya. I don't like saying that Islam beats Ilya. I don't know why. Okay, it's like my brain thinks Islam beats Ilya, but my heart won't let me accept it. So I say that to say I think Ilya beats Islam. But funny enough, if we were to say Habib is the lightweight GOAT, I don't think Ilya beats prime Habib. I don't. Gabe Blackman, look at these trolls in chat. It's yeah, AI2A, Gabe. He a funny homie. He has like 10 of them. Yeah, he got 10 ults. Perry MGA. Yeah, I have no clue what that is. Okay, 170, we got Islam, current champion. Who's the GOAT of 170? GSP or Kamaru Usman? Let's go GSP, I guess. GSP versus Islam. Oh, that's a great fight. That's a great fight. I could see it now. GSP versus Islam. Islam takes it. Islam takes it. Gay Blackman. Have you understood my name by now? Oh, now I do. Now I do. Damn, I thought that one was fine. Now I get it. Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, now I get it. Shout out to Gabe. Ilya destroys Islam at 55 and 70. Ilya beats Prime Habib too. Okay, HT. All right, HT. So you with me that Ilya beats Prime Habib though? Or no, I don't think that Ilya beats Prime Habib. But you with me that Ilya beats Islam? Everyone crying, laughing. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh, we got that one's innocent. It's fine. I only think Ilya beats Islam because he's fresh and barely took the amount of damage Islam has. That's also true. Fucking Space Kid, my man. Nothing makes me prouder than a comment like that. Really tapped into the game, you know. Real tapped in, real answer, a real take. You know, a real take in this world full of just fucking copy and paste, copycat takes. Space Kid comes in and he goes, I only think Ilya beats Islam because he's fresh and barely took the amount of damage Islam has. Very true. Very original take. Love it. Love it. I'm of the same train of thinking. I kind of forgot that. That's why I'm so impressed with Space Kid, because I kind of forgot about that point. But that's why I think Ilya beats Islam too, you know, on some type of tip. That DP fight took like a year or two off Brody. Yeah. Not considering the knockout loss and shit like that. Why is this NPC spamming? Because he always does. That's why we're trolling him so much about you, AI. We're like, we got a new AI. We don't need you. Because this AI, he been in here just causing a ruckus all the time. I thought you understood my name, but I thought I should ask still. Shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Gabe. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm glad you did. You a real one. Khamzat low-key sub Silva in under a minute. Yeah, yeah. Is a crazy matchup. Topuria versus Habib. Yeah, I got Habib. Is he back? I don't see him in here. I wonder if he blocked me. I haven't been seeing the spammers chats. AI's been seeing them though for some reason. Who knows what's going on? Okay, so 170 GSP versus Islam. I'm going Islam. He just got more grit. 185 Anderson Silva versus Khamzat, right? We going Khamzat. We already did that one. 205. We already did that one. John Jones or Carlos Olberg. We going John Jones. And then, light or heavyweight, we're going Francis Ngannou or Stipe compared to Tom Aspinall. Aspinall would have beat Stipe, would get flatlined from Ngannou. Would get flatlined from Ngannou. I'm laughing at AI spamming. AI must have like blocked me so that I can't see his chats or something. Super weird because I cannot see AI's chats. You don't see him because you are on top chat. Switch to live chat. How the fuck did you know I was on top chat? Now I see it. Louis, how the fuck did you know that? I thought I was on live chat. Who switched it to top chat? Oh, top chat goes some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Oh, damn. I didn't even know about that. I'm gonna go to Walmart and ask if they can call my missing buddy on the speaker. First name Gabe, last last name Lackman. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Shout out to Tony. Hey Tony, I got a better one for you. I think you guys should know this one. But you could just go to Walmart and just have the lady be like, "Hey, I lost my." Oh no, here's what you do. You do that one, right? You get her to call for Gabe Lackman on the loudspeaker, but here's the one key detail you don't forget to do. You watch her type in the number. You watch her type in that number to call on the intercom. Then you can go around the whole store and you could do it whenever you want. You don't even need to call the lady. That's what we used to do. We used to be like, hey, we lost our friend. Can you call for them on the speaker? Tell them to come to this aisle. And the lady would be like, oh, yeah, do. Like, so and so, can you come to aisle 15? But we would be staring at the phone while she presses those buttons. We would just copy it. We'd go back in the store like the next day and we'd start like moaning in the speaker, some crazy shit like that. You guys know what the deal already. Because when you don't see all messages, it means you are on top chat. Okay, I got you now. I got you now. Now I'm on live chat. Now I see AI2A's bitch ass in here on another old Jew. Fuck you. AI2A, we love AI2A. Clearly, 55% still voting old AI over the new AI. Amid his lap and all. At Walmart now, bro. Space Kid, run it up, homie. Run it up at Walmart. LOL just switched to all chat too. I didn't even know about that shit. All right, boys. That's going to be the stream, though. That's going to be the stream. Hour and 15 minutes. Not bad for the post show. Not bad. Hey, you boys in Walmart right now, you see any baddies in short shorts and slippers on or what? All the homies in Walmart looking for some baddies in short shorts and slippers. If you know, you know. Walmart needs to sponsor me, bro. I be bringing them business. He is voting himself with like 5 alts. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. That totally makes sense. Well, I'm going to vote it up right now myself. I like new AI over old AI. I'm just going to say it. I like new AI over old AI. All right, boys, that's going to be the stream. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, per usual. Officially. I've been ignoring finding out how many days live I've been, but 53 days live officially today. So we more than halfway done. We got 47 days or 37 days left of the 90-day live stream streak. And then don't be surprised if we just push it to a straight 100 right after that. Just another 10 days. What's another 10 after 90? And then, honestly, guys, I'm thinking maybe I'll take a little break. Maybe I'll take like a week-long break or something because, you know, 90 or 100 days is a lot. So enjoy me while I'm on here. Thanks, bro. It's been a fun stream. Shout out AI. I'll see you in here tomorrow, homie. Good to have you in the chat now. Good to have you a part of the streets now. Make sure everybody, especially AI, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video on your way out, boys. Let me shout out the streets and then we'll all get out of here. Oh, let me end the poll. I'll end the poll once I'm done shouting out the streets. So everybody vote up the poll. Let me know who you like more, old AI or new AI. All right, shout out to Otto. Shout out to Ron Loke. Shout out to Tyler Betts. Shout out to Lou AI. Shout out to Tony M. Shout out Space Kid. Shout out Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Look at everybody in the chat today. This one makes me happy. This shit straight makes me happy. Shout out to Andrew Nance. Memby Andrew. Shout out to Jew. Member Jew. Shout out to and Tony M. also a member. Can't forget. You know, shout out to AI2A, aka Jew Fuck You, aka, you know, Perry NGA, all of his alts. Shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Tony Sal. Shout out to the Japanese letters, homie. Don't know your name, but much love to you. Good to see you in here. Shout out to HT for popping in. And I've reached the top of the chat. I guess my chat's reset when I switch to live chat, so that's all I could see. But I think there was Dun Daughter in here. Perfecto was in here. So shout out to all the day ones. You know, all the daily viewers. Shout out to you guys. If I missed your name, my bad. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Let's end the poll. Old AI wins it, but I mean, we all know the deal. We all know that old AI was voting it up on his alts. So 52% to 48%. I'm going to give the dub to new AI. You know, welcome new AI. We all love you, homie. The chat loves you. It's official. You know, you beat old AI. We like you more. Welcome, homie.